Hello, hello. Welcome back. This is Corporal OP. We are playing Diablo 2 today, and we're following up on our last stream where we started Sir Hudson, the pulse rifle paladin, aka the fire Bowadin. So, we'll go over the tree and stuff and the character, and then we'll get started. So, for the main skill we're using is our aura is Holy Fire. As you can see, it adds a ton of fire damage to our attack, and it also pulses for fire damage in a radius. The closer the enemies are to us, the more damage it does. The synergies are resist fire, 21% fire damage per level, and salvation, 10% fire damage per level. So those are going to be the secondaries that we power up. And then combat skills, we don't have anything. We probably will eventually get a point into charge just for mobility purposes. And we could get a point into Zeal for if we wanted to have a melee on switch, which we currently do have as an option. But we're mostly just interested in using the pulse rifle, which I'll show you in a minute. So Might Aura just is a prerequisite for Holy Fire. And for our first few levels before we get Holy Fire, we put it into the synergy of Resist Fire. And then, as you can see, our resistances are kind of poopy, but we're normal, so it's, you know, whatever. Our mercenary currently just, we found a Bane's Wraith skin, so we threw that on her. Just some magic resist and a pile of defense. We gave her a bow with some rubies in it because she's also using exploding arrow, and then it's a cap that we found with fast trap recovery. Our gear, we have a fast trap recovery cap as well. Just a garbage amulet we found. Stealth, faster run walk, and poison length reduced boots with a little bit of attack rating. Fire is a tiny resist amulet. A little bit of attack rating and magic damage reduced by 1. Nothing belt. Our gloves give a little bit of charged bolt when struck, and a little bit of attack rating. Dexterity charm, unresisted dexterity, and fire resist. But the main event is right here. Ravenclaw fires explosive arrows or bolts is the main thing that makes this build work. Which is why we're doing a new game, shared stash, like New Game Plus style build. You can do the fire Bowadin or just like Holy Fire without the explosive arrow or bolts, but this makes it just way better and way more fun. And so this is what we're rocking. The explosive arrows or bolts is the main thing on this. Everything else is just kind of gravy. And I'll show you, we have a whole progression of them. So at level 27, we can move up to Hellcast, which is a crossbow that fires explosive arrows or bolts and adds fire damage. Any added fire damage adds to the explosion, so that's really good. Then we can move up to Kugo Shikaku, which is even better. It gives +3 to bow and crossbow skills for Amazon only. Unfortunately, we can't use that. But fires explosive arrows or bolts still. The big pierce, 50%, and then adds a ton of fire damage. Again, that adds to the explosion. This is going to be for our insight base. We also have a Blood Raven's Charge. Fires explosive arrows or bolts. We probably won't use this because we're probably in the end of the game going to use this guy right here, which is Demon Machine. 66% chance to pierce and fires explosive arrows and bolts with a little bit of extra damage and attack rating. Big attack rating, actually. And a little bit of mana. And some defense randomly. So, and then we have a wisdom that we had laying around that we haven't been using. So that this gives us 99% pierce. So we don't have to worry about, and this also gives us Cannot Be Frozen and mana per kill, so not that we really use mana, but that's alright. We have a Veil of Steel, we just randomly had it laying around, so we might use it. We also have these, we could use one of these for a Flickering Flame if we wanted, or we could use one of these for like a Cure or a Bulwark for Mercenary. And then just some random melee weapons I had laying around that we may use as our secondary, a Shaft Stop and a Rock Fleece for our Mercenary as well. And Sandstorm Tracks just because I had an extra pair laying around. The strength will be helpful, and the vitality is always nice. But anyway, so we are currently on the Heraldric Malice quest, and we are set on players 8. We've been crushing it on players 8. So let's go ahead and do it to it.
Even the light cannot pierce this glory.
As you can see, even on players 8, the explosive arrows just do a ton of damage. I'm not exactly sure what level of explosive arrow they are on the Ravenclaw. I think it's really low. It's like level 2 or 3 or something. But that's enough, especially when we have all this you know, 150, basically 130 to 100 to 220 added fire damage. Again, that adds to the explosion, and that's why things they just die. And as Hudson would say, we got nukes, we got knives, sharp sticks. Basically, kind of want to use a spear as my secondary for the sharp sticks joke, but we'll see what happens. Again, I named him Sir Hudson from Aliens because he's, again, I like to refer to this build as the pulse rifle, especially once you have Demon Machine. It very much feels like you're firing a machine gun that explodes. And Hudson is my favorite character from Aliens. I talked about that a lot in the last stream. If you have not seen the movie Aliens, you're doing yourself a disservice to not watch it. Go watch it. It's one of the best movies ever made. It's a great action movie. The first one is also fantastic. It's a great horror movie. I highly recommend both. And you see there the pulse is able to take out these carvers even without us doing anything to them. If we were playing on players 1, the pulse would be even more devastating. Like, we would be walking into rooms and things, the whole room would just be exploding. The end game version of something like this, you'd want to run things like dragon armor to add some additional holy fire. And if you had dragon, I believe you could also run, you probably at that point run conviction if you wanted to. But this flickering flame is also really good for this build because it gives +3 to fire skills, and it doesn't take up like unfortunately like leaf takes up our weapon, which doesn't work right. We could bash people with it. We like run and punch people with leaf. That would actually be pretty decent if you didn't have the bow yet. Alright, so we found the exit, but we haven't found the smith yet, so let's go find the smith. And Alexa is going to help us out. Or Vasquez, as she's going to be known for our run. Again, if you've not seen the movie Aliens, Vasquez is also one of my favorite characters in that movie. She's a freaking badass. And she has a good, like, she has lots of, like, funny back and forths with the various other characters, like Hudson. One of the first, when you first see Vasquez, she's doing pull-ups and, like, waking up in the morning with exercise. And Hudson says, "Hey, Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man?" She's like, "No. Have you?" Just, without skipping a beat, just pure gold. Vasquez is awesome. Alright, as you saw, we just murgulated the smith. He did drop us a helm, so let's check it out. Yes, I thought he dropped us a helm. Maybe he didn't. Oh, it must have been... I guess I misread that. For skill, we're going to continue to pump Holy Fire. Let's go with Strength, because we do need to get up to 60, so for Hell Class, by level 27. So we'll just get there early, and then we'll just not worry about it. And we won't immediately go back to town to give the malice to Charcy. We'll just press on for a bit. This build should be really good against Andariel, because Andariel has negative 50 fire resist. So she should just melt in the face of our explosive arrows. And actually, when we get to Nightmare and even Hell, that's a really good farm spot for this character. Really any fire character is Nightmare and Hell Andariel. They both have good things that they can drop. Nightmare Andariel mainly can drop. It's the best place now. Best odds of finding a Stone of Jordan in the game. Which way that works is basically she can only drop 3 unique rings. She can drop Mantled. She can drop a Angelics, or not Mantled, or Mantled, Nagel Ring, or SOJ. And since she can only drop those 3, She just has a much higher chance of rolling as an SOJ than any other place of the game. AI viewers, yeah, no, thank you, don't care. Bot, you can get out of my chat. Thank you. This channel is not for you. This channel is for real people who want to watch real people play video games. I am not a professional gamer by any means. I'm just some dude who is currently unemployed, although I'm hoping by the end of this week that'll no longer be the case. I'm just kind of waiting on a job offer from a company. I've done a bunch of interviews. I've been told that I'm the final selected candidate. Just waiting on my references. And then also I have a meeting with our CEO and COO tomorrow. And then also my dad's coming to visit tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day. So I will not be streaming. So I'm not going to be home. Or I'm going to be... I also have a medical appointment tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be incredibly... busy, so I'm gonna be doing all that kind of stuff. But I'm stoked. I haven't seen my old man in a couple years, and so it'd be nice to see him. There's a chance he'll be moving in with us eventually. I mean, he probably should, but he's an old man and he's stubborn, so you know, we'll see. But also, as you can see, because we are a ranged build and we can kind of just like kite and stuff, it's pretty safe. Like, we're hardly using potions. Also, we don't use mana. We are using regular attack and our aura, so mana basically doesn't matter to us whatsoever, which is kind of nice. And so we can just worry about our health, so we can carry, like, on our belt, we can carry, like, as I'm carrying right now, all health potions and just rejuves for safety. But very low maintenance character. But again, that's if you have the if you don't have the explosive arrow bows. You can still do this build. Like, it's actually still, like, not bad and normal. It does fall off a lot more if you don't have the explosive bows in, like, Nightmare in Hell, but I mean, it's still Holy Fire. It's still pretty strong. Like, this build will be doing pretty well until the parts that we're going to struggle is Act 4 of Nightmare and Act 4 of Hell. Those are areas of the game where there's lots of fire immunes and lots of monsters that have huge fire resist, and also monsters that just have a shit ton of health. Monsters in Act 4 tend to be even tankier than a lot of the monsters in Act 5. Like, that's one thing that I noticed the first time I ever played Act 5. Enslaved are, like, worth a ton of experience, and they're dangerous. They do a lot of damage, but, like, they just, like, they're made of paper mache compared to a lot of the monsters in Act 5 or in Act 4. Like the specifically Venom Lords. Venom Lords are tanky as all hell. Oblivion Knights and Doom Knights are actually pretty tanky as well. Flesh Spawners. The maws that spit the corpses at you, those guys are pretty tanky as well. Just a lot of stuff in Act 4 has just a ton of health. And with all the fire immunes, our build doesn't really get the chance to do its thing the way it should. But it should still be fine. At that point, we also... that's also why we'll have our secondary... We can have a secondary spec. We can have, like, a point into Zeal and... or Smite. That's also an option we can do. So we'll figure that out when we get there. There's also the other way of dealing with it, of just run past it. There's no rule that says you have to kill everything. That was something that took me a long time to kind of get, because I was always like, oh, I want to clear the whole zone, I want to kill all things, when I was a kid. But you don't have to do that. I mean, you can just kill the things you can kill, and the things you can't kill, who cares, right? So that's what I do. And that's what we may end up doing in Hell is There's some monsters we can't kill, we just won't kill them. Just run by them. Also, that's what mercenary is for.
I can't carry it.
But as you saw, I have those melee weapons in my stash, so, you know, could use those with, like, a little bit of fanaticism or even just might aura. Won't be the best thing in the world, but, you know. I'm thinking stuff that could work for, like, Vizier in the Chaos, because he will be immune to fire. To Stace as well. You can, but if you run into like a whole pack of Fallen or something and they're immune to fire, like that's probably not going to be very effective. But I think it's like one guy. I think it can be doable. Go ahead and chug a potion here. Okay. Also, in ways to buff our, if anything we can find, Mage Fist will be great for this build because it'll add +1 to our Holy Fire, and it also adds a little bit of fire damage. Although Horizon's gloves, I think will probably actually be better because they add a ton of fire damage. Anything that adds a pile of fire damage is good.
Good. Oh, thanks.
You have those. Poison resist and gold. Sure. Attack rating and strength, no. Mana, no. Half freeze, no. Attack rating and dex. Attack rating on life. All right. Into the catacombs. Again, also the exploding arrow gives some nice little AOE. It's not huge, but it's pretty good size, and that helps with our clear speed quite a bit. Like right there, one shot killed a whole 3 or 4 Fallen there, so.
There is great evil here.
I don't know if there's a method to this madness other than the fact that I just always like to go up. Take a look at these gloves. Nope. We still need a belt as well if we find any belt that does anything. One thing we will be getting in Act 3 from Ormus, we will get a teleport staff. I know not everyone likes the teleport staff. And if you don't want it, you don't have to use it in your run, but I think it is a nice convenience to have. With Paladin, it's not as important because you still have charge to get around, which is really nice. And also vigor if you want to put points into that. But yeah, pretty excited about this job prospect. I'm really hoping that I get an offer soon. One of the things I will be doing once I have the offer is official is plan my move, and then once I get moved, I am going to upgrade my PC. That's kind of a gift for myself, and then I'll be saving for a while to kind of refill the coffers. Moving's expensive, so I always like to, after I move, spend the next few months to like kind of refill the coffers and make sure that if something happens, I have, you know, money set aside and I'm not just like in a pure panic. Because you never know, you could, you know, injuries and things happen, so throw this long staff, see what it does. Nothing. I grabbed it because staffs can be worth a lot of money. Check out this Targe. 10 resist all. Oops. And ours is better. So yeah, we do have a swap that we could swap to melee if we really feel like we need to, like if things are really up in our grill. But right now, this is fine. Like we're doing so much damage with our exploding arrows because our sheet damage isn't even reflective of what our damage actually is because we're firing explosive arrows. And what the sheet is showing is just a regular arrow if it hits how much it does, whereas the explosive arrow adds more damage, and then also the AoE. And we are adding to the AoE and the damage from our stuff. So yeah, we're not our sheet damage is very poison is 18. We'll use that for now. Okay, we'll do that. That's fine. Not the best charms, but you know we're in normal, so we'll take what we can get. Let's grab a key and some arrows. Oh, Elexa got caught. There she is. Elexa. I don't remember seeing that her name as one of the rogues before. I'm sure I have, but usually when I think of the rogue, I think of Eliza, Amplisa, Hannah, Honor. Oh, here it is. Did we get the... We did just... Oh, and it's... Oh, we got a good waypoint, too. Unfortunately, it's normal, so we're probably not going to farm Andy. We could. Maybe get a Hasaris boots from her. We'll see. We might do it. Maybe we'll do a couple runs just for fun. Because again, getting a Hasaris boots or something would be really cool. Don't need that. Alright, Ring, what do you do? Attack rating and gold. Not what we want. Okay. Was gonna go play Magic tonight, but then my dad's trip was originally supposed to be he's supposed to come up on yesterday, or well today technically is when he was supposed to arrive, and I was gonna go play Magic tomorrow, but no, he's arriving tomorrow, so we're not gonna play Magic. But I was gonna go do a pre-modern event. If anyone plays Magic, pre-modern is a format I want to try and get into. My local shop does pre-modern events, where they're hoping to start it, and they because it they just want to build a a player base. We're not really playing for prizes or anything. We allow proxies and gold border, so people can get into the format without having to spend a ton of money. A lot of the pre-modern cards aren't super expensive, but like because a lot of them stuff's like Swords of Plowshares, Counterspell, Mana Leaks, that kind of crap. But some of the older cards, like the Creative Justice, was $1. Now it's like $20. So, unfortunately, that's the nature of Magic. My hope is that they'll start reprinting some of those cards, but some of them are on the reserve list. So, like Survival of the Fittest being $1 million, that one I don't think is on the reserve list. But Gaia's Cradle being $1 million, that's that's not going to change. So, but the pre-modern community in general is pretty pro proxy. Which I think pisses off I'm sure it pisses off Wizards of the Coast, because they want you to use official game pieces, but you have a stupid reserve list policy, which means you're not going to reprint the game pieces, and we want to play. So that's on you. That's how I feel about it. If your company has the capacity to reprint older cards and chooses not to because of some bullshit like that, it's on them. That's not the player's problem. So I'm pretty pro proxy in general. Like I play Commander, and I know not all Commander players are pro proxy. I am, because I'd rather play against you and your skill and what you can do than play against your wallet and your expendable income. Especially, like, I've always felt that way, like, because for a long time I was very, very broke. I grew up very poor, so, like, I didn't have any expendable income, so I never had, the cards, the good ones, the expensive ones, unless it was something I happened to had for a long time. But now, like, I have a much better job than most people, and I understand, I appreciate that, and I understand that I'm very blessed in that way, but, that makes it, for me, even more so, like, I don't want to play against your wallet. I want to play against you. Like, and I want to play against your ideas, too. Especially in Commander, where it's like, it's not about winning anyway. It's about having fun. So I want to play against the fun deck that you came up with. And in pre-modern, where it is more about winning, I want to play against your skill rather than your wallet. So either way, I'd rather play against you and what you can do as a player. Oh yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arrows. And I said it would be nice to get some Hasaris boots. Well, ask and ye shall receive, I guess. Because there's the boots. And Honor, or Alexa, give her that. We got a Grand Charm. And then let's go. Let's check out this Targe. Okay, let's grab. Cool. Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted, actually. So now we can go. Okay, we're gonna sell that, and that. Yeah, War if I'll talk to you in a minute.
Finally, we may rejoice. We owe you a debt we can never repay. In time, we will be able to rebuild our order. All our thanks go with you, my friend.
Okay. death brings renewed faith for us all. I love the world building. How it's just, you know, it's kind of like in Diablo 1 where it's just like it's NPCs in town, and you know there is like some like the molded tome and stuff you can run in the world, but it's just a handful of people in town, and then you piece it together, the rest of it together. But it's done so well that it's pretty, like, you don't have to, it, and then there's also these cutscenes, but it's done so well that it's pretty clear what's happening, and I just really love that. I think that this game is incredibly well done in many ways, but the narrative is one of those ways. I know not everybody cares about lore, but I do. Alright, so we're level 19. Let's talk to Jiren and start to Warriv. And let's actually go back west, and let's go on Dorial a couple times. We got a good map for it, so why not, right? We got the Hisaris boots. Maybe we'll get the belt. That would be great, because our current belt does jack shit, and the Hisaris belt gives 20 resist and 20 to life, which would be a huge bonus. And then having the belt boot combo gives a bunch of attack rating, which we don't super need, because the explosion from the explosive arrow always happens on contact, but hitting still adds extra damage, especially since from the Holy Fire, we're adding that 182 to 276 to the attack. So we kind of get the double dip off the skill from what I understand. Okay, put our money away. And let's go. And that was on players 8, and we killed her in 7 arrows. That was nuts. That was awesome. There's our AoE going off. A bunch of those guys died before we even fired our first shot. And then, which way was the exit? Oh man, if I had a tele staff, this is Nightmare. We'd be in business. Come on, click on the door. Thank you. That's alright, it's still not that far of a walk. Not worried about him. The fact that we're even able to one-shot the Ghoul Lords is pretty awesome. Those guys they're pretty damn tanky, normally. Nope, you get to die. Get a free ring there. Two, three, four, five, six. Nothing super great this time, but that's okay. We'll do it one more. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do 5. We'll do a couple. We'll do a few. We'll see how it goes.
What can I do for you?
Also, our repair bill with this build is going to be pretty low because we are using a bow. And so we don't have to worry about repairing an expensive weapon like if we were playing Zero. You know, if we start teleporting, you know, that gets expensive just because the teleport charge is about $2 grand. Which is why you don't see me like generally like teleport like all over the place. Like I don't really find that super the most fun, engaging way to play the game, but also like, level up. Oh, in case if we drop our charms and stuff, we'll still have our stats. So now the next 7 levels we'll put into vitality, so we have enough for health caps. That was sick. We didn't even hit him, we hit the wall. And it was, yeah, the explosion was big enough to just murder him. Love that. Reminds me of the scene where Hudson's fighting the aliens. They're like, come on, you want some? Come on, you too. How about some for you? How about you? Fuck you. What a boss. Love Hudson. Best character in sci-fi. There's a full helm. Alright. I believe this full helm is Eisenhart's, which we do not need.
Good to see you.
Yep. 6 to dexterity, damage reduced by 2. These are both better than my belt, but they're also not as many slots. Added lightning damage we don't care about. If it was fire damage, we'd be very happy with that, but it is not. Actually, let's check and see if we have any fire damage charms in the shared. Cold res. Cold damage. Oops. Blinding res. Nope, nothing yet. How about we go until, at least until Andy drops us a unique. Or one that, or a unique that's usable, like a Blood Fist or something. Also recently just started rewatching Star Trek The Next Generation. Anyone who's ever watched that show, it's great. It's kind of hokey, and it's, you know, it's from like the 80s, 90s or whatever, but it's great. I really enjoy it. I watched it as a kid. It was one of the few things, the one channel we had when I was a kid had Next Gen reruns in the early evening, so I'd watch them, you know, before dinner and whatnot. Never really tried to get into the original series with like Kirk and whatever, but I really like Next Gen. Voyager's fun too. After I watch the rest of Next Gen, ooh, okay, we got gloves. They're not unique, but Blood Fist would have been cool. Alright, so we'll keep going. We'll keep trying. But I think after I do finish Next Gen, I'll move on to Deep Space Nine and then Voyager. and rewatch Voyager. Never really watched a ton of Deep Space Nine. I think when I was a kid, it wasn't as, from what I remember, it wasn't very as action packed. It's like Voyager and Next Gen, which is probably why I didn't particularly like it as a kid. But I think I would really like it now. 7 alive. Attack rating damage reduced. Alright. But I think there's some things that, like, you know, it's one of those things that I think I would appreciate it much more now as an adult. So I do want to go back and watch it because I've heard that Deep Space Nine is actually very, very good, and a lot of it's more kind of philosophical and questions about, you know, the meaning of life and shit like that. Whereas Next Gen and Voyager was just like, we're having fun adventures in space. At least on the surface, it's easier to get into what's going on there, to me. But I think I've just started, so I'm on like episode, I think I just watched episode 5 last night. I do watch it by myself. My brother's he's not a fan, so that's alright. Yeah, my hope is that if not by the end of this week, hopefully by the end of next week, I should have a job offer from the hospital, which will be a huge weight lifted. Massive amount of stress relieved. Bam. Bang. Bang, bang. Bang. Boom. There's our belt. We did it. And in fact, I even called it. It was the exact combination of items I was hoping. I was like, hey, that'd be cool if we found these. So that's neat. And we've got a gold Rondosh. Or a rare, sorry. Boom, and then so this, yeah, so 20 life and 20 cold res, whereas the boots are 20 fast runrock and 25 fire res, but now there's 200 in attack rating and 50 defense. I think half freeze ration's probably better than that. I think our current charge is better. Let's go sell this stuff. Still no unique net, so let's keep going for a little bit more. Bloodfist would be freaking awesome. I'm trying to think, ooh, Hotspur would be cool too, because that adds fire damage. Really, and yeah, I think those are the main things that I would like, would be Bloodfist and anything that adds fire damage. So the thing that's nice about Hasaurus boots, it's good enough I'm willing to run it without the belt. Obviously having the belt is nice. Oh, the rare gloves. But if we find Bloodfist, I'll definitely drop Or if we find Bloodfist, that would be great. Night Smoke would be a cool one. It's a little bit more special. It's a little bit more all around. Zora's build is life and cold resist. Night Smoke is 10 resist all, and a few other things. We don't need to worry about FCR unless we start doing the teleporty thing, which, you know, even still not super important. We're not a caster. We are, but so attack speed is nice. Really, the things we're looking for is fire damage, attack speed, life. Resistances, obviously. Alright, we found an axe, which is not usable for our build. I kind of want to keep going. Maybe we'll do this, we'll see how Mephisto goes. Mephisto has better fire resist, so he might not be as easy to kill. I'm not farming Duriel. Fuck Duriel. The only reason to farm him is for the, his statue or whatever. Death Spade. I mean, it is stronger than Stout now, I believe. So we'll use it over Stout Nail. Stout Nail, thank you for your service. Suburbs, Tinkreds. Oops.
Greetings.
We're rolling in rejubes, so we might as well we use 3 rows for it, or columns. Wind Gut, very powerful. Axe again, huh?
I can't carry
Let's do one more. That'll put us up to 21. At that point, we're not really, you know, don't want to spend too long here, but, you know, we're finding stuff. Thank you for the new follow on Twitch. I didn't see that pop up, but thank you. Always appreciative of folks following the stream. I know I don't stream as consistency as I would like, or consistent as I would like, but we'll see how things go as in the future. Having this new job will stabilize my life quite a bit, and I feel like that'll help. Even though I'll only be streaming really in the evenings and on weekends occasionally at that point, because I'll be working. I feel like I might actually stream more often because I'm just gonna be in a better place, which will be great. Also, I think that'll be better content as well. And also, once I upgrade my PC, there's a whole slew of games that I do want to play that I can't currently play, and games that I played for a while and then had to stop playing because of computer issues. Namely, I want to get back on The Division. The first and the second game. I prefer the first game so far. I think that's pretty much, I'm just going to prefer the first game, which is, I don't think, super abnormal. There's quite a few members of the community that agree. Not everyone, of course. But Div 1, it quickly became one of my favorite games ever. I jive with it amazingly well, and I find it super fun. And I'd love to play some on YouTube and Twitch. So let's go put the dirt here. Tier room. Let's grab this other dirt. Alright. So we didn't get there, but that's alright. Did not find our blood fist. Good to see you. Another death spade. This one has higher ED than the new one, so barely, but we'll get rid of that one. You can have that. 5 grand, so we're gonna sell that in Act 2. Also selling that in Act 2. FCR ring, we'll keep a hold of that. In case we do decide to start teleporting. Hey, nice streaming. Come on, Discord. Let's just discuss more streaming ideas. Thanks. I'm happy for you to follow the stream. I'm not really trying to make money at this or anything, so I don't really know what. I don't really have any stream ideas to discuss, but I'm happy to have you follow along. Stats, let's go ahead and do right there, and let's go ahead and do Holy Fire, and let's go to Luke Lane. And we'll talk to the villagers and go down to the sewers and kill Rodiment for Atma, get her revenge for her poor husband and child. Of all the quests in Act 2, that's the one that always really stuck with me when I was a kid. And I've actually used that basis as a... Ooh, 10,000. Sure. Use those as a basis for... I didn't even read what they did. Oh, yeah, that explains it. There's a lot of skills on these. Anyway, it's a 3-socket crossbow, but she can't use that. Composite bow only has 1. She can use that, but it's only got 1 socket. I was hoping for one of these with 3 sockets for her. Could give her a stealth, but she's got Banes. I think Banes is probably fine. Well met, Brother Paladin.
How do I know I can trust you? That you may be as shifty as that black rat Elsie who runs the...
Apologize for that.
I've
Alright. Don't worry, Atma. I will get your revenge. I like how Mashif went from being like this. Like, look how tall he is. He's taller than the Paladin. Like, Paladin's a big guy. Like, or not, he's not a small guy anyways. He's a knight, right? And Mashif's like a whole head taller than me. And yet in Diablo 4, he's like this little tiny, feeble, skinny, crackhead looking guy. With a completely different voice. And he talks completely differently. I'm not happy with how they changed Mashif. I'm okay with characters like, you know, if they wanted to make him a drunk, like, okay, I can kind of get that. Because he's seen some shit, but I mean, he's seen... Anyway, I don't... They did my boy Mashif dirty, that's all I'm saying. I really like Mashif. I thought he was a cool character, and I don't like what they did with him. See, these guys are firing and we're still just... And remember, we still are on Players 8. We're just cruising along. Next time we go back to town, I'll check and see what level of explosive arrow we are actually firing. Let's just do that right now. Because I just out of curiosity, and then I will check what hell class it is as well. So let me go ahead and pull up in a side screen here, so just one moment. D2R level D2R Ravenclaw. Okay, let's take a look. Yes, verifying I am, in fact, human. So as fires explosive arrows level 3. Okay, why is it? Site's annoying. Okay. D2R Ravenclaw. Let's just go to the wiki. Fires explosive arrow level 3, which explosive arrow level 3 does base 17 to 27 fire damage plus all the extra fire damage that we're adding. So, and then if we go to Hell class or Hellcast, well, let's have an aneurysm. There we go. Hellcast shoots level 5 fire explosive bolts, and adds 15 to 35 additional fire damage. So if we go here, level 5 explosive bolt does 29 to 41 fire damage plus what it adds, so it does way. So our damage is going to spike really hard in at level 30. They're level 27. Each one of our new weapons is gonna do that. Let me go ahead and close that window completely because it's lagging my computer now. I don't know why. Go away. And let's go ahead and close that as well. Thank you. Alright, that was weird. Okay. Yeah. So even that little bit of damage, that like 20 or 17 to 27 that we're getting from level 3, as you can see, is a ton when we add all this extra crap on top of it. And even just that amount is actually still pretty good. Why am I stuttering now? What is going on, computer? Come on. But yeah, I really want to get into back in a division once my computer is upgraded. I'll play Division 2 as well. I want to start playing a variety of games, and you know, I know being a variety streamer is not the easiest thing in the world, but again, I'm not really trying to make money doing this. I'm just playing games that I enjoy, and I hope people watch it and get something out of it. Especially if it's, I try and play games too that I kind of know, either that I'm going through like the kind of first or second time with you guys, or that I know well enough that I can kind of explain some stuff. Oh, he's right here. Wow, that's quick. As you can see, he's way tougher than Andariel as far as his fire. He's not weak to fire. Bing, there's a skill point. So we can't put any more in the Holy Fire right now. Let's look and see what other things we were even interested in. Just put it in fire resist. Don't care about any of this.
They say that the taste of vengeance is bittersweet. I find it to my pain. In addition to my undying gratitude,
Thanks, Atma. You're awesome. Atma can also heal you if you haven't. If rather, her and Farah can both heal you in Act 2, which is a fun fact. 73 attack rating, 4 to life. Sure. Actually, let's, nah, we don't need them. We'll find arrows. Don't worry about it. Let's go for the cube. Raven, alright, there's that mercenary get leveled. Is your exit already? That's awesome. Okay. Didn't spend a whole lot of time in the Rocky Waste. That's fine. Get dead. Get dead. I normally don't like fighting those little leaper guys, but because we have this explosive effect, and we do so much damage, we should be able to kill them in one shot, like that, and kill a whole group of them. So that's why I'm actually fighting them. Normally I just kind of run away from those guys, but they piss me off. They do good damage, and they hop around. They're kind of annoying. Alright, so here's the Halls of the Dead. Let's go ahead and leave a portal and find the waypoint. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Everybody likes Walking Dead, good old Negan. Only one socket. If we find another 3-socket bow, we can, once we hit level 24, we can upgrade her bow to a bunch of perfect rubies, which would kick ass. Again, we could switch to a, and we may at some point, just because we may want the physical damage as opposed to the fire damage. But right now I'm liking having kind of Vasquez backing us up, but we may switch to the traditional Act 2 mercenary with an insight at some point. We do have that partisan in the stash, so not that insight really matters to us for his money, the mana recharge, but insight does a ton of damage, so that's really the main thing. But Elexa is holding her own. She's doing good. I don't know what level her fire arrow is. I wonder if we can look. I think we can. Let's take a look. Her exploding arrow is the same level as ours. So 31 to 49 fire damage. Plus her 19 to 28. Also, she is getting synergy from Fire Arrow, I believe. I think that's why her base is a little bit different than numbers I gave earlier. We do not have Fire Arrow, but we do have, instead we have our Aura, which it doesn't directly add damage, but it adds it indirectly to the way the Aura works. Which I think is actually better in a lot of ways. But these kind of weird classes where you kind of are using a different class's skill, or like with like chance to cast stuff, or like fire explosive arrows type of stuff. I like these kind of builds a lot. I think they're fun. Nothing there. Oh hi. Get wrecked. How can they cut the power, man? They're animals. Oh, I should have held that joke. I'll probably say it again, because I'm a nerd. But. It's a hunter's bow, but no sockets. Alright. It's been playing Aliens Arc Descent a little bit. That's something I also would be interested in playing on the channel if people would like it. It's kind of a tactics kind of game. And I like those kinds of games a lot, as from like XCOM and stuff. It's not turn-based, it's real-time. It's a little bit different. And we still need to do another, I have decided I'm going to do a follow-up stream to our XCOM 2 vanilla run. Just to see if we can salvage the run. If not, it'll be a nice kind of final send-off to Colonel O'Brien and the XCOM folks who fought valiantly, but then the Archon King just we couldn't hit him, and he just sat there for 100 years and wasted time until we ran out of clock. Explosion. And we have the cube. Alright. Probably not going to need that anymore.
I can't.
And we'll go Vitality. And we'll go back to Holy Fire.
Good evening.
Now let's check and see if we can find another 3-socket bow. Unlikely, but,
To the
you know.
desert rain.
2-socket crossbow. She can't use crossbows. Tripwire, she might have a bow. Go to Dry Hills. And let's press on towards the bug lair. Everyone's favorite area. This actually should be pretty darn good in the maggot lair because it's a lot of straight hallways and then just big bundles of idiots. And this should be pretty good against that. Especially in the bundled rooms. In the big hallways, once we have Pierce, like in Nightmare and Hell, we're gonna murder places like that. Like Arcane and the maggot lair. Yeah, we'll just, because once we have Pierce, the explosion will proc on every monster that it touches, that the arrow touches. So if you're piercing, it'll go like pow, 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 pow. And that's where this build really shines. In the later stages of the game, this build is great for clearing lots of stuff. Not so great at killing like a single monster. Like, it's not the best boss killer, but it's great at killing just like loads of stuff. Which means you can do, it's a great cow runner. Like just kind of general area farming. Ooh, fanaticism. And you're dead. And through the wall. Get wrecked. Yeah, this build is... Explosive arrow is such a good skill. Look at the size of that area. Granted, these guys have a big hitbox, but still. Lieutenant, what do those pulse rifles fire? Explosive tip caseless. Standard light armor piercing round. Why? Another great line from Aliens. When the Sarge takes their ammo away because they're not supposed to fire down in the area where they're at because they're underneath a nuclear reactor and it could, you know, be a problem. It takes away their ammo and then one of the Marines, Frost, goes, "What are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?" Beautiful. Amazing. And then Hicks pulls out his shotgun and has his famous line of, "I like to keep this handy. Close encounters." Get it? Close encounters? They're fighting aliens. Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Awesome. That's just good writing right there. And it makes sense, too, because that's what shotguns are for. Alright, well, we're submitted with the waypoint. Let's just look around and see if it is on this level. It is probably up those stairs, but you never know. Sometimes the maggot lair can be on this level, I believe. And let's look for Beetle Burst as well. If he's close to the waypoint, I would love to kill him a few times. Beetle Burst is a great farm if he's close to the waypoint. Kind of like Rakanishu or Bishibosh. If those guys are, or any of those super unique sets are like close to the waypoint, are just fantastic. Which is why Eldritch and Pendleskin are so good. And why Corpse Fire is not the greatest because he's at the end of a big ass cave. don't think we killed Bitchy Bosh on when we went through. I didn't see him. I usually like to try and kill as many of the super uniques as I can. They're worth good experience and it's a good story. You know, our hero taking out the lieutenants of the various demon lords. So here's where the teleport staff would have been great, because we just hop over that wall, but we had to walk all the way down here. This has got to be the exit, right? Yep, that's to the far away, or the, not the far away, it's just the Lost City, so we're not going to go there yet. Could and go back. We could and go there and double back, but I don't know if you like doing that. Yeah, man, but it's a dry heat. There's Beetle Burst. And just ain't gonna save you. Thank you. Another level up for our mercenary. She even pace us? She's 21, so she's a little bit behind, but that's alright. She will catch up. Alright. Where the hell is the maggot lair? I guess it could be in this very far corner, but that seems really unlikely to me. Yeah. Alright, so I had to have missed it down stairs. This is strange. Huh. I'm just gonna go forward and then we'll come back to the maggot lair. It doesn't really matter what order we do this in. Now is where... How can they cut the power, man? They're animals. That's something that, I don't know if they ever really explain in Aliens how the aliens know how to cut the power. They are like smart. They're smarter than like we give them credit for. That's like a thing in the Aliens franchise, but how they know to cut the power is... it's not, it's never really made clear as far as I know. It's probably in some kind of, like, it's probably in like the novelizations or the extended universe stuff. But they're somehow drawn to it probably, but like so we know they like to nest in like warm, cozy places, which is why they nest under the primary heat exchangers in the in Aliens 2 or in Aliens. And in Alien 3, it likes to nest in the vents. I think it's by the furnace in Alien 3. Where's the waypoint? If we can find a Dark Elder, I'd like to kill him. I think we might have killed him over there. Anyway, we'll keep going. If we run into him, I'd like to kill him. Grab a bite of this sandwich real quick. It's a damn good sandwich. Yeah, if we decide to end the run for vanilla XCOM 2, we will move on to War of the Chosen. It's kind of like a... Oh, okay, here's Valley of the Snakes. Interesting.
Light guide my way in this accursed place.
Die. Die. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die. Kind of weird we were able to shoot through that wall. Alright, I'll take it. Eat fire. Eat fire. Unfortunately, I can't get strafes. It's having like being able to strafe with explosive arrows. That would be like the true pulse rifle. Because pulse rifles shoot 4-round burst in Alien. They can go a full auto, but the normal setting is 4-round burst. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Ow. Yeah, watch out for those snake dudes. They do have charge. In normal, they're not too bad, but in hell, and especially in hell, they can really put the hurting on you. And they're cold in hell, so they also slow you, which is a pain in the ass. This guy's very dangerous, so if you're not familiar, be careful. We murdered him because we have stupid damage, but Fangskin has extra fast lighting enchanted, so he can be pretty spooky.
The light can never be extinguished by evil.
Alright, now we'll go back for the find the bug lair because we ran past it. We're gonna hang on to that. Because the all res isn't bad. Three viewers, wow, that's actually quite a few. Wow, that's a lot for me. Welcome everybody. We are going to go back now and do the maggot lair because we... Sorry about that, it's my brother's phone going off. Alright, so let's look for the maggot lair. It's got to be down here somewhere. Oh, it's right by the waypoint. Perfect. Okay, so we came out this way, so we need to go left. Left is law down here. From the way you came in, since the door is facing this way. Oh shit, we're going the wrong way. We're going right. Left would be over here. If I'm reading that correct. But yeah, left is law down here. Yeah, we were playing the Holy Fire Explosive Arrow Bowadin, aka I call him the Pulse Rifle Bowadin, which is why his name is Sir Hudson, as in Hudson from Aliens. My favorite character. So again, we come out, return to the left. Here we go. Bang, bang. See, we just like murder the entire hallway very quickly, and we don't even have Pierce yet. Once we have Pierce, it's going to be crazy for areas like this. So most melee characters really struggle, like most fighting type of characters really struggle in areas like this, or even a lot of casters, just because like the way their spells go. We are gonna feast down here because our skill goes in a straight line. So. And by skill I mean our attack, because we don't have to use mana, because we are just attacking, and we don't even super care about hitting, because the bulk of our damage is coming from the explosion itself, which is all from the explosive arrow damage, plus any added fire damage adds to explosive arrow. Well, Holy Fire adds a ton of fire damage. So if we hit, it does a ridiculous amount of damage, but even if we don't hit, the explosion does a ridiculous amount of damage. So it's kind of like double dipping, at least that's how I understand it, because you get the 289 to 412 fire damage in the explosion, because that's how how fire arrow or splitting arrow works. But then if you hit, it adds that damage to the attack, so the arrow itself, which basically means you get double Holy Fire damage. Plus, we have that pulsing damage. And we've been playing on Players 8 this entire time. We're still on Players 8, and we're cruising. This build is, again, we're doing a shared stash build because having you can do it without the explosive arrow uniques, but they just make it so much better and more fun. That's what we're doing. So this is also more of a character that's kind of a screw around character, probably not ever going to be your main, so go ahead and find those unique bows that shoot the explosive arrows, and find them, and then once you have the series, make this character. This character's really fun. You can also do the same type of build with the Enchant Sorceress, because Enchant adds fire damage to your attack, much in the same way. And then also Fire Mastery increases all sources of fire damage, which is not, it says fire skill damage, but it's all sources of fire damage. So like added fire damage from random bullshit like Mage Fist and stuff. I believe that also is affected by Fire Mastery. So you can do some crazy damage with the Sorceress. I have that build as well. She is pretty high level. I've showed her off on stream before. She's pretty fun. So she's not done. None of my characters are like really fully optimized. Because I don't play a ton of endgame. I mostly like to do playthroughs. But I do play endgame every once in a while. And she's one of the characters I really enjoy playing. I use her for specific things. She can kind of do everything, but you know, again, this style of character with the explosive arrows is more of a like mobbing character, killing like lots of monsters, as opposed to a boss killer. It's not a great boss killer because your single target damage is not nearly as good. Now with this version, because we have the kind of double dipping holy fire thing, it's probably a little bit better, but 3 more levels and we can upgrade to Hellcast, which will be level 5 which will be level 5 fire arrow plus added fire damage and much other crap. So it'll be pretty strong. Oops, I didn't want those hatchet hands. Get out of here. Alright, let's get that Staff of Kings. Couple more bites of my sandwich. Mana per kill for us is basically blank. Because we don't spend mana. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my sandwich here for a quick second.
Approach and let's trade. When the troubles began here, I allowed the terrified harem guilds to join me within the safety of the palace. All was fine until one night. Screams echoed up the stairwells from the harem. My guards arrived to find the poor girls being slaughtered by a mercenary I have heard of it.
All right. And so we'll do a gear recap too at some point here in a little bit. It was really funny earlier on in the stream. We had a really good Andariel map, so we decided to farm Andariel for a little bit. And before we started farming around, I was like, you know, it'd be really nice if we could farm Andariel a little bit and get like some Hasaris belts, because we didn't have any belt at all. Just some regular like white belt. And I was like, man, Hasaris boots would be great. So our boots sucked. And then I talked about you know, getting the attack rating from having both. And then first run of Andariel, we get the boots, and then a few runs later we get the belt. Maybe even the second run. So that was pretty funny. Every once in a while you ask and you shall receive. The other item I really wanted was Blood Fist, but we did not get Blood Fist. That's alright. Hotspur also would have been sick, because Hotspur adds fire damage, which again just adds to our arrows, and the explosion, which the explosion is the bulk of our damage. Alright, I went too far the wrong way. Kill these idiots. There it is. See if Fierce Eye is in here, or whatever his name is. Fire Eye, that's his name. He is fire enchanted, so he's going to take a little bit of a while to kill, because fire enchanted also means they have a chat load of fire resist. Alright, I'll grab another couple bites of my sandwich.
Is the product of a twisted mind.
Boom. Again, once we have Pierce, this area is a really good place to farm. I farm this area. In Hell, this is a great area as well because of the ghosts. Ghosts have a higher chance to drop runes and gems and stuff like that, like runes, gems, jewelry. They have a weird drop table. They're a lot of the ghost-like monsters, like the finger mages, souls, ghosts. They all have this kind of a weird drop table where they drop stuff that's like trinkety type stuff. So rings, amulets, gems, jewels, and runes. So when rune farming for those high runes, this is a decent area to look. Because especially if we have a certain build like this build where, you know, we're shooting down a straight line, everything down that line is going to get wrecked. And even once they're fire immunes, if you have a Sunder, even though you're only doing a few percentage of points, once you have like Flickering Flame or something, even though you're only doing like 5%, if they're clumped together and your arrow goes through multiple and it has like boom, 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 like multiple explosions, that's still, like, you actually can still surprisingly get through a decent amount. So, well, this is definitely not a top tier build by any means. I do think it is. It's definitely fun and it's viable. You can definitely play it through endgame. If so. Was not first way.
Stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen. Extra gold, don't care. Big fire res. One thing I will say, if you're rune farming in here, in the higher difficulties, make sure you kill the ghosts when they're hovering above a platform. Otherwise, they ain't gonna drop anything, which is kind of annoying. I wish they could update it where they would drop and it would just come to the nearest edge, but that's probably not the easiest thing to do, actually. So I get why they don't do it. It's probably also not the highest priority thing either, but. Hey, we got Realm of the Reign of the Warlock, so we never thought we were gonna get any content again. So I'm happy. I still need to play more Warlock. I didn't play a ton when he first came out. I played a couple playthroughs. I have a fire playthrough that I think I just kind of got through hell, and then I have a actually I don't know. Actually, and then I have a Blood Boil playthrough, which was pretty fun. And then I have I'm just gonna grab a ton of these potions just to get them off the floor and drink them all. Alright, it was not second way. But the Warlock is sick, and so I do want to play him some more. So we will do some more Warlock. We will do some Warlock runs as well, but kind of just flying by the seat of my pants of what I want to run at a given time. So I can go away, I can go away. Don't want to go that way. Will we third way or will we fourth way? I usually go the top two ways first. I kind of always go the same direction. I go, you know, that way and then around the horn here. No particular reason. That's just how my brain works. So. See, like right there, they I couldn't. If they did drop anything, it would be off the thing. I couldn't grab it, but they usually just don't drop anything if they're too far off of the edge. So Holy Fire is almost maxed. So then we can start putting more points into Resist Fire as the synergy, or we can go down and then Salvation is the other synergy. So those first like 60 points ish. That's where they're going. After that, we can kind of do whatever we want. We could do a secondary thing like, you know, a little bit of smite or something if we wanted. And it's fourth way, because why wouldn't it be? Okay, fourth way. Well, that's alright. As you can see now, we're well 25, so our experience is not exactly breaking any land speed records anymore, but that's alright. Okay, fourth way it is. Well, let's just kill him, that's great. Those goat men are also they're immune to fire and health. They do have some good fire res, so that's why we're generally not killing them in one shot. As opposed to pretty much everything else. But we can two-shot them, and that's good enough. Another game I would like to play more than Total War Warhammer 3. I find that game very gripping and fascinating. And watching all the little guys run around the field and this massive armies run around the field and murder each other is pretty interesting. Ow. Ow.
Rest in peace, tortured soul.
Alright, so now we are in the canyon. Let's check and see which temple is our correct temple. Circle. So a double down arrow, triangle, circle over moon. So it's going to be over here. I always remember the right side. I can never remember the exact order of the left side. I really should just take like 5 minutes to learn it at some point, but I haven't. So I think it's circle, square, moon, double down arrow, triangle, circle, moon. So I think it's circle. Yep. I think we figured it out. Hello. They're coming out of the goddamn walls. It's reading right, man. Look, well, you're not reading it right. Maybe these things don't show up on infrared at all. Which is interesting, because the aliens do not show up on infrared. Which is why, if you watch Alien vs. Predator, predators have a special scope on their masks that let them see the aliens more clearly, rather than their typical infrared that they use to hunt humans. Which makes sense, right? Because if they're hunting, if they hunt a cold-blooded animal, they're not going to want to use infrared to find it. That's not very effective. They're going to want to use some other wavelength. And the thing they use for the xenomorphs is like it makes them like glow green on for their perception, which is kind of cool. Not exactly sure how, but we don't need to know that. It's fine. Not everything must be explained. Sometimes the mystery is part of the fun. Oh, hi. Now those guys, I think they're immune to cold, but they have a lot of health, so that's why we're not killing them in one shot. Same thing with that sarcophagus. Bang, bang. Now, we'll probably not do Duriel on Player's 8. I mean, we'll give it a shot. He's not really worth doing on Player's 8, though, because he doesn't drop anything good. So, yeah, I probably won't even do him on Player's 8. I'll probably just turn it down, let me just kill him. spikes kept poking me. But because we are, I mean, we got a lot of points of vitality, so we're pretty we're decently tanky. We got 330 health. The paladin does get 3 life per vitality point, so he's tied with the Amazon, the assassin, and the warlock in that regard. I honestly, personally think the warlock should have only been a 2, like the necro, the druid, and sorceress. But what do I know? Let's go get rid of stuff. That's boo-boo. That's boo-boo. Lightning resist. The magic find though. Okay. Alright, so while this does its thing, we're gonna go back to town real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys a trick for it works for Andariel and Duriel pretty well. I didn't use it on Andariel because we have fire damage, we didn't really need it, but so we go to Lysander. You can have he sells these thawing potions. We're gonna buy a whole bunch of them. Each one is gonna give a bunch of cold res for 30 seconds per one of these we drink. So right now our cold res is 31, goes up to 81, and also lets you max out at 85. So, and it's 30 seconds per drink. So now we have a bunch of cold res. Duriel has Holy Freeze, so he does mostly cold damage. So let's dance. And we'll tank him, that's fine. Drink 2 potions here. Oh, I forgot to turn it off player's 8. He probably would have been dead by now. So that's okay. We're still crushing him. Alright, he dropped, not 5 scroll town portal this time, so I'll take it. Holy Fire is now maxed. We are 1 level away from Hellcast. Thank you, Mortal, for my freedom. Thank you, Turiel, for your service.
I shall honor Tal right. Asha's sacrifice by destroying all the armor.
Dire Razor. It's a cool sword. Oops. Alright, let's talk to the village people. Amma, you're awesome. Thank you, Drogden, for the wisdom. Thank you, Grays. We know we didn't really talk to you at all. Elzix. Actually, let's see if he has one last time. Alright. And she is level 25, so she can use diamond or max level jewels, I believe. So it should be 45 to 90 extra fire damage? Or 45 to 60? So, if we go, let's check out her damage increase. Boom. Got him, coach. Here we go. And then we'll talk to Lysander. Sorry, things didn't turn out as you had hoped. Talk to Jiren. He's basically saying, gonna say thank you and send us on our way.
Unfortunately, I hear that Diablo and Baal have eluded your grasp. This is most unfortunate. If you wish to travel east,
Checking with Warriv as well.
Never fear, my friend.
Never fear, my friend. You did the best you could. Warv's such a sweetheart. Thanks, man. And welcome in, viewers. Alright, talk to Mashif for Sail East. What we're doing today is the Holy Fire Explosive Arrow Bowadin. We're using Shared Stash because we have all the explosive arrow bows and crossbows. So right now we're using Ravenclaw, the lowest level 1, but next level, at level 27, we're going to switch up to Hellcast, the crossbow, and do even more damage. Welcome in. Let's go ahead here. And let's go, I'll go ahead and show my tree and stuff real quick. Maxed out Holy Fire, and then the nothing in combat and synergy of resist fire. And actually we have another point, so we might as well, let's just go pink. Because each point of resist fire adds 21% additional fire damage. Which right now, when we're doing, you know, 450 almost to 600 damage, that's a lot of fire damage, 21%. So, as we can see, this damage is very misleading because this is just the arrow and the fire damage added to the arrow that hits face. This does not count the explosion. The explosion does a separate pool of damage from an explosive arrow. It's like 50-ish plus the holy fire damage. So the explosion itself is doing like basically 500 to 650. Plus the arrow itself is then doing this much. So if the arrow hits and the guy that gets hit head on gets really wrecked. I'm going to grab some water and then we'll continue on. Shit, I didn't do a load of laundry this morning. That's fine. I will do that tomorrow. We can only use ours till 5 because of, it's a shared space, so it is what it is. Here's our next level. We've been playing on Players 8 the entire time, including, we did it in Dario, and we just did Dario on Players 8. Had no problems. But next level, we will be able to wear this, and then we'll have that for a few levels. And then we'll get a Kuku Shikaku, and we'll have that for the majority of the rest of the game until we hit 49, and then we'll have the Demon Machine the rest of the way. There's also Blood Raven's Charge, but I think Demon Machine is going to be better than Blood Raven's Charge. Especially since this didn't roll perfect. Because it's just fires faster than this. And has the Pierce. That's the big thing. With 36 mana and all that kind of stuff doesn't matter because we're not using mana anyway. Fun little Easter egg here. Well, not really an Easter egg, it's pretty obvious, but here's Dark Wanderer, aka the Warrior from the first game. And then he summons Act 4 minions. It's always a fun little thing there. Kind of interesting lore stuff if you don't know. There are 3 heroes in the first game: the Rogue, the Warrior, and the Wizard Sorcerer. The Sorcerer becomes the Summoner that's in the Arcane Sanctuary. That's not Horizon that's in there. Horizon is long gone. The Rogue becomes Blood Raven, and the Warrior becomes Diablo. So canonically, the Warrior is the one who kills Diablo and takes the Soulstone. There's our Jade figurine. We can turn that in whenever we want, and get us a potion for 20 life, which is great because 20 life is essentially 7 vitality points. So that's nothing to sneeze at. The 20 health is really great for Sorceress because that's basically 10 vitality points for her. Same with the Druid and the Necro. They have the low life. There's low health characters, regular health characters, and then the Barbarian has high health. He has 4 per vitality point. Which makes sense because he's a big beefy boy. I did like in D4 that they had the option of being male or female, or dude or girl or whatever, for each class. I thought that was kind of interesting. I liked the different looks of them. But I didn't like how they made the Druid so big. Like, they're huge. They're way bigger than the Barbarian, and that doesn't make any sense to me. The Barbarians are supposed to be bigger than the Druids. They're like regular-sized people that turn into giant animals, not the... Yeah, so I didn't like that. Also, or at least when I played, the Druids sucked monkey butt. It was the worst class in the game by a country mile, which sucks because Druid's cool. When I played the first couple seasons of D4, and then I kind of fell off of it. I've thought about reinstalling it every once in a while. I may do that at some point just to kind of play through it again. I haven't played through either expansion, and I do, you know, just like I need to play through the expansions for D3 because I never played through the expansions either. I beat the base game and then I never really played it again. I re-downloaded it recently, and started to, like, it was several months. It was probably like 6 months ago. And I started playing a Demon Hunter run, and I'll play it for a bit. And I think I'm on like Act 3 or something, maybe Act 4. Play it for a bit and then stop. I'll usually download it again, play it for a few days, like a little bit, you know, and then not. It's not quite the newer games just aren't really my jam, but. you know, it's fine to have a different thing every once in a while, so maybe I'll hop on at some point. I do like a lot of the cosmetic, aside from the fact that I think the druid being bigger than the barbarian is stupid. I do like a lot of the cosmetics for your character in D4. That's kind of fun. But check this Ron Dash. Nope, it's crap. Yeah. Anyway, so I also haven't played, but like I said, I haven't played any of the expansion stuff. So I would like to try out the Crusader, even though he's not the Paladin. I know he's not the Paladin, or maybe he is, or is he called the Paladin now? Crusader is D3. Yeah, let's try out the Paladin. Paladin is. It was funny because when I was a kid, I never really played the Paladin, and then as I got older, I found there's just so much cool shit the Paladin can do. You can do like this is kind of a weird build you can do with him. There's a whole bunch of different versions of Zeal you can do with different auras. There's Fist of Heavens is in Resurrected is actually good, whereas it kind of blew ass in LOD because it only hit undead. It didn't hit demons. Now that hits both is actually like really damn good. Fist of Heavens is actually really fun. But there's just lots of weird stuff you can do with Paladin. Barbarian's kind of like that too. There's a lot of, because of, you can, with Chance to Cast Gear and shit, there's a lot of weird stuff you can do. So I actually find myself playing Paladin a lot. Which I never thought I would, because I never really got into Hammered in. I mean, he's powerful, and he is pretty fun to play sometimes. But he's not, I like Fist of Heavens more. I think Fist of Heavens is more fun. But Hammered in is very strong. So... And I know a lot of people love the Hammered in, and for a good reason. It's sick. Like, it's the iconic build. It is pretty fun. It's really strong. You know, there's a reason it's iconic. But the Fist of Heavens just something about it jives with me a little bit better. I think one of the things too is because I don't play Hammered in oops, just totally bitch slapped my mic there. Sorry about that. So I don't play a ton of Hammered in. Like, sometimes the positioning gets me a little bit, because the hammers do fly out of you and kind of when they initially come out in like kind of a unique, interesting way. And so sometimes if you're standing like right next to a guy, you like won't hit them, right? You get a position in a certain spot around them. And sometimes that takes me a little bit while to get used to, because I don't play it super often. Not that that's like a bad thing. I think having to kind of have certain positioning to make it like ideal, and it kind of having like it up in your face to be like as best as it can be is kind of good, because it is so powerful. It's kind of the thing with Nova Source. Like, you have to. It's a little bit more risky than the rest of the Sorceress builds, but because you have to get up in their grill, in them monster's grill. But the reward is, it's just like, it's crazy strong. I do really enjoy Nova Source as well. Nova Source is very fun. But Blizzard will always be... Blizzard and Frozen Orb technically Frozen Orb will always be my first love, but Frozen Orb's just so much outclassed by Blizzard that it's hard to go back. Or it's hard to play Frozen Orb when you have access to Blizzard. Alright, I don't think we gotta skip. Well... Unless it's down here... I doubt. We'll keep looking. A pulse is doing a lot of work here. Oh, we didn't buy our teleport staff. Probably should go back and do that at some point. Can't carry anymore. Why not? Oh. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn this crap in and... requirements, strength, blah blah blah, blah blah. Master castrate. He recovering fire res. No, I'll get rid of all that. Unless there's a skip right here. Nope, there's not. Okay, so no skip. Oh, we didn't buy it. Let's check our teleports now. I like the way you work it. I thought I gave my. Actually, we can check the shared in there. I might have a teleport staff just like sitting in there. I sometimes have. Aha. Well, we'll just do that. And actually, we'll just go ahead and full on do this. Okay. Okay, Great Marsh. And it's raining. Like rain. There's a waypoint. Can't do. I wish I could do music in the background while I played, but then YouTube gets all pissy. Other things that can pump our fire damage, stuff that add fire damage. And then also things that give plus to all skills, or plus to fire skills. So like Mage Fist would give us a whole level of Holy Fire, and then also some fire damage. If anything, if there was anything that gave us Fire Mastery, that'd be insane. Even if it was like level 1, because that's level 1, it's still 30%. Increased fire damage from all sources, which is nuts. Ah! Alright, well, Hellcast time! Alright, so how fast we're clearing things now? We're about to get even faster. Alright, let's grab this stuff. Let's grab the jewel. So Holy Fire is maxed, so now we're doing Resist Fire. And let's go back to town and grab Hellcast. And then we'll check the stats needed for Cougar Chicago as well while we're here. Because that's our next upgrade. So we already have the stats needed for Cuckoo. Cuckoo is actually easier to use than Hellcast. Whereas Demon Machine, we need to get up to 95 dex and 80 strength. So that'll be our next thing we'll start working towards. 80 strength and then 95 dex. But now we're going to go upgrade. And he does not sell. Who sells? I think Ashira sells bolts? Maybe?
Hello there.
Trade? You do, okay. Do you have a 3-socket bow? No. Okay. Or a 4-socket? Well, we can't get a 4-socket bow, but at least not from a vendor. Okay, so currently we're doing our arrow damage is 487 to 676. Boom. And now our explosive arrow is level 5. So we're actually going to be doing a good amount more. We are normal attack speed versus fast attack speed, even with the 20 IAS. So that kind of sucks. But this also does give us max fire resist and fire resist and a bunch of damage. So I still think it's worth it. And it looks badass. Let's grab a health potion. Let's go talk to Mashif and get this golden bird taken care of. Here we go. So we traded him the jade figurine. He gives us the golden bird. And we're going to give the golden bird to Alcor. And he's going to fiddle with it and give us a potion. The golden bird of Kuile. Alright. So now we go from 367 to 387. Attack rating and gold for monsters. We don't need that. Alright. So now, bam. Bam. Bang. 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 Bang, bang, you're dead. Took the bullets in your head. That's the thing people used to say when I was a kid. I don't know where it comes from, but it seems a bit excessive. 50 bullets is way more than enough. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Little goober. Put a big group of zombies there. One thing I'm not wasn't the biggest fan of when it comes to some of the newer games, and I understand that that's kind of the direction that the industry has gone and whatnot, but I'm not a big fan of cooldowns in these types of games. I don't mind it in like Division, where it's like a shooting game and then your like skills have cooldowns. I don't mind that as much. It just feels better. Whereas in D3 and D4, I felt like a lot of times it was like kind of run around, oh, my skills are all off cooldown, and then run in and kill stuff, and then run around, do nothing. And depending on the class too, like because like sometimes like I did the Frost Mage early on, and kind of the way it worked was you teleported in. You Frost Nova'd, freeze everything, and then you just shatter everybody with the ice shard thing that when they shatter, they shoot out more ice shards and blah, 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 blah. And it kind of chain reaction goes nuts. But it all starts with them having me frozen, which the way he froze everybody was Frost Nova. So basically, every fight was the same. It was, I'm going to teleport next to you, Frost Nova, do the thing. And if Frost Nova wasn't ready yet, you kind of just ran around and did nothing until it recharged, which I don't really like. Anyway, it's fine. I get why it's there, and I get the design choice of doing cooldowns. It's just not always my cup of tea. But like I said, in Division, it doesn't bother me at all. So, because in Division, I feel like I still like I have my gun, right, so I can still shoot and stuff. Granted, if you're playing a true skill build and you're kind of end game, your gun doesn't. If you're doing a full skill build, your gun doesn't do a whole lot, but it does something. It's not nothing. Whereas I feel like, you know, a lot of games like the just regular attack basically is nothing. So we'll see how far we get today. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours now, which is a good amount. I usually try and go for between 2.5 and 3 hours. If I get a message from HR, I'll have to hop off and attend to whatever they need me to do. Like I said, we're on the reference check portion of the game, so it's like sometimes they're like, "Hey, can you clarify this?" or "Oh, they didn't answer that phone number. Can you get an updated phone number for me?" or whatever. Which I should have all that updated information, but you never know, right? And one of the people we're waiting on is my old boss, and he was out of the country last week. I don't know if he's back yet. I hope he is, because I really need him to fill this reference thing out, or do the reference over the phone. And he said he would be happy to, but he's the division regional president, and his actual title is something different than that, but that's essentially what he is, the regional president. And so as you can imagine, he's busy as hell, and sometimes it's hard to get him on the phone, which is why I gave someone else as the reference for that job. But they want to talk to my direct manager, so that's him. Man, we just got to the flare tunnel. That was a long ass march, especially for normal. Good grief. Okay. Well, I felt like it was like the last tile to the Great Marsh, and then the last tile from the Great Marsh to the flare, so that was pretty nutty. Boom, 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 boom. Suck my bolt rifle. And then if we play Warhammer 40k, there's the Space Marines use a weapon called a bolt gun, and it's not really a gun. It's more of a rocket launcher in the shape of a gun, because it shoots the bullets that it shoots. The bolts are mass reactive explosive, which means they don't explode on impact, they explode just after impact. So they go inside and blow you up from the inside. Which basically means you're dead as hell. And that's the regular gun that Space Marines use. They have better guns than that, but that's like their regular gun. Just kind of terrifying to think about as a regular gun, but 40k is kind of a crazy universe where everything is over the top and ridiculous, so like Space Marines aren't even the best of the best of the best. They're up there, but Custodians kick the shit out of them. I play both Space Marines and Custodians, so I play mostly Imperial armies, but I do have Votan, a little bit of Votan, and some Tau. But I have Marines, Guard, and Custodians as well, and a Knight. So back in the 8th edition, that was like a thing. You take guard, and then you bring a knight, and then Castellan specifically, a knight Castellan, and then a bunch of guardsmen to kind of hang out with him. I think at one point you brought 2 Castellans, but I never had 2, and I always had just the one. But I really enjoyed that kind of medley of. Oh, I have a knight with my regular duders. Alright, crap. All res 7. Nah.
Briefing. You have done.
This magic ring does me no good. Attack rating, a little bit of leech, which doesn't really affect us because our actual physical damage is only 25 to 46. So 3% of that is, like 1 to 2. So not super important. I don't have the magic find or the resist. So thanks anyway, Ormus. Let's see. One less fire res and a bunch of extra shit, so we'll take that. Ooh, hawk mail for our merc. Do we want to do that?
I'll put that to good use.
Yeah, let's give her that.
Yes.
Alright, let's see what else is other goodies we got in here. Lightning resist 8. 4, 4, 3. Okay. I have Edlich +1 to all skills. Let's take that. Get rid of the MF. Three to strengthen the lightning resist. Okay, let's go to that. Go here. Oh, let's go Mage Fist. Get that extra fire damage. All resist 13, huh? Nagel, do we want the 20? Yeah. Cold resist 7. Lightning resist 8. Manold, we don't need. Don't need that. Bunch of resistances. Okay. let's just refill our arrows real quick, or bolts.
Noted.
Alright. We're gonna go at least till we find civilization. If you don't have fire resist, that flame breath thing can really jack you up. But I have 93% fire res, so I have some natively from having points in holy and resist fire. Increases your maximum fire resist, and it also gives you just like some basic, like passive fire resist, even when it's not active. Your active aura, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice. And then I also have plus maximum fire resist from the Hellcast, 15%. And I think the maximum is plus 1 for every 2 points you have in resist fire. I think it's something like that. Or the cap you can have on your resist. Yeah, so maximum fire resist and passive maximum fire resist, yeah. It's like rain. Bam! Yeah, just get wrecked, nerds. I also do like the way the animation for the attack with the crossbow, with the bow, with the paladin. Like raise it up, or you take an aim and shoot you in the face. Pretty awesome. Be careful with the dolls. They do explode when they die, and does a bunch of damage in the area around them. Luckily, mercenaries don't seem to be affected by that for some reason, so you can kind of just let your merc kill them. Now, because we are using the rogue, she's not likely to just face tank him. She's likely to try and run away and get him. But if you have the Act 2 merc or like the Act 5 merc, he'll just face tank him and they'll explode right in his grill, and he just doesn't care. Whereas if they explode in our grill, very, very bad. Not so much in normal, but Nightmare and especially in Hell, if they explode next to you, you're really getting hurt. Alright. So we're just going to pick a direction and beeline. Because it's usually in like one of the corners. There's Witch Doctor Andugu, we can't hurt, so, because he is immune to fire. Ooh, fire damage, fire resist. Okay. And we're just gonna try and get teleport out of here. Perfect. Just enough range. Bum, 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 bum. I think once we find the LK, we're gonna probably take a break. Starting to feel myself slipping into some bit of a narcolepsy incident, which, if you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that that happens to me. Where once I nod off the first time, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse, and so I need to go like lay down and basically take a 20-minute cat nap or something. That helps a lot. That's also the main reason I don't drive is I fall asleep behind the wheel really bad, and I don't want to put anyone's life in danger, so I'd rather be myself inconvenienced and then worry about potentially hurting somebody, including myself, but mainly other people. Okay. So let's keep going and pushing to LK. Holy. That's a good chunk of XP right there. Boom. Bang. You shut me down, bang, bang. We got nukes, knives, sharp sticks. Day in the Corps is like a day on the farm. Every meal a banquet, every paycheck a fortune, every formation a parade. I love the Corps. Hudson, you want me to fetch your slippers for you? Gee, Sarge, would you? That'd be really sweet. Look into my eye. Ooh, light gauntlets. They're fun. They're not quite Bloodfist. So Arctic Mitts and IAS and Life. Let's see if this bumps us up to fast attack speed. Let's see. Doesn't seem like we hit the break point. If we did, I would say let's wear those for a while. I don't think the one level of, I think that would be worth more than the one level of Holy Fire. Boom! And we just destroy all our enemies. It's like rain. Okay, we're gonna go this way. I had a friend reach out to me the other day her kid's getting into Pokemon cards, and he's really enjoying them. And you know, he's little, he doesn't really know, and she doesn't really know. She's not really into that scene. And she asked me the other day. She's like, "Oh, he asked for like an old like first edition pack. How much does that cost?" And I was basically just told her, "You don't want to know." I looked it up, and I was seeing them for first edition, like $9,000-$10,000. Unlimited, I was seeing for like 1,000, and that's if you could even find them for like base set. So I told her that, and she's like, "Yeah, that's." I had to tell him that's not happening. I was like, "Yeah." It's like that. You gotta keep in mind that pack is over 25 years old. Came out in 1999. So even so, the first hurdle would be finding someone who has one, and then finding someone who has one that's willing to sell it. And more than likely, you're gonna find someone who has that has like a sealed box or something. They want to sell the whole box, and that's going to be ungodly expensive. But even just one is, like, it's crazy how much. I mean, the cost of Pokemon is extremely inflated because of scalpers and BS. But also, I mean, old stuff like that is going to be expensive, right? Like, if there's a market for it at all, it's going to be expensive. It's just like old Magic cards they ain't cheap. Okay, Rock Fleece. Let's see if our mercenary, she is 28. So she would lose, cannot be frozen, and 65 cold res, but she'd gain damage reduced by 5, and then also physical damage reduced by 10%, and a crap ton of armor. Basically triple her armor. So let's try it. And 5 strength, which doesn't really do a ton for her, but we need 103 strength to be able to wear this. So we need 103. Oh, we need to get back up to 49 dex. So next 2 levels we need to put dex. And then okay. So we need to pump dex up to 95. And strength up to 103. That's the targets. Double crossed. Let's make sure we get the waypoint. So we'll keep going until I feel like I'm starting to do the fall asleep thing, and then we'll take a break. Thought I clicked on that shrine, but I guess not. Bang. Maybe at one point. See, that's another reason I want to upgrade my PC. I also want to get a second monitor and a bigger desk. With the second monitor, I would really like, even though you guys wouldn't be able to see it, but if you started stream with me and kind of synced up, so we could watch it together, have play Aliens on one screen and then stream the game on this screen. I think that would be fun. I would love to do stuff like that, watch alongs type stuff, because I do really love movies a lot. Movies were one of my escapes when I was a kid. I grew up in a pretty horrible upbringing, and I don't really want to get into it. But movies were like an escape for me. Movies in school and video games. So that's kind of why I felt, and magic and stuff like that. Like the things that I still like really enjoy today are a lot of the things that were like my escapes when I was a kid. All right. Entrance is up here. Let me grab a drink. We didn't have any ice made earlier, so I just kind of threw my water bottle in the freezer for a little bit, let it cool off, and then now it's cold. So, all right. Yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this run, I'm kind of interested to see, you know, what is the best fire arrow or explosive arrow build. Is it the Amazon? Is it the Sorceress? Is it the Warlock? Is it the Paladin? Those are kind of the four that jump out to me. And there may be something else, but not that I know of. And I'd love to see which one is strongest. At least in playing through the game, right? At the end game, you have to have all the crazy stuff, and I don't have that stuff, so that's, you know, probably not something that we'll be able to figure out. But playing through the game, which one's best? Because you gotta think, it's not just the fire explosive arrow like damage. It's also the other skills that the character and stuff that the character has. For example, Sorceress gets teleport. That's pretty crazy powerful. Put the portal right there. The Warlock can do the mirrored blades thing and shoot 5 exploding arrows at a time, I believe, which is kind of bullshit. Because if the Amazon could strafe with this or multi-shot with the explosive arrow, that'd be insane. Then it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be a contest at that point, but. Alright. I do like to clear out the temples. They're a good experience. Because there is a guaranteed boss or two in there. Leghorn the Mauler, and you died. Also, we have not used any of our respecs, so if we need to, when we hit level 33, we could respec and take some points out of Vitality to just immediately be able to use Kugu Shikaku if we don't quite make the stat points needed to get there. So that's an option. Or wait, never mind, Kugu, we don't need it. It's not until, the crossbow that we need it. Demon Machine, that's what it's called. Demon Machine has some of the requirements. Cuckoo we've already met. Okay, where the hell is the waypoint? And where is Serena? Oh, she's probably right over here, huh? So Battle Sister Serena, if you're if you're not playing Players 8 and you're just going through the game and you're not level 24 before going when you're ready to go into Act 4, come back and kill Battle Sister Serena until you hit 24. Same thing with hitting level 25 before going into Act 5. So what I often will do is go and farm Battle Sister Serena till 25 if I'm not there yet. Because that's when the weird XP penalty BS goes away as level 25. So. Boom! Look at all that. Just destroyed. This build is sick. Granted, yeah, we are still in normal. But there's definitely builds that are not this strong. Let's go ahead and throw that book in there. Grab the Grimoire, that's probably worth money. Alright. Now where is the LK waypoint? It's usually not super far from Serena. Yeah. Our pulse damage is now all the way up to 111 to close to 300. And our fire damage to attack is 667 to 884 now. So, you know, for normal, the amount of damage we're doing is pretty wild. Alright, here we go.
Good to see you.
A little fire resist fiber. Okay. Grab a quick drink here. If anyone struggles to drink enough water like you should, I find the little flavor enhancers. I use the Mio, but there's lots of brands, Crystal Light and all that kind of shit. Find one you like, and preferably one that doesn't have a bunch of sugar in it. Like, that's why I like the Mio, is there's no calorie options. So find one you like, and add it to your water and drink your water. It's just, drinking your water is really good for you, and yeah, do that. Ow. Goodbye, Ice Blink. We barely knew thee. Take an hour in. I never check all these, but I got a wild hair to do so. Yeah, got some stuff, some chips. Ice Blink's cousin over here. Hudson, sir. He's Hicks. Lieutenant Gorman calls Hudson Hicks when they first meet, because he's too cool to actually get to know his soldiers, so he doesn't know who's who. And Hudson raises his hand with a question, and he's like, "What is it, Hicks?" And he's like, "Hudson, sir. He's Hicks." Which Hicks, if you didn't know, is played by the guy Kyle Reese from Terminator. Michael Biehn. I'm kind of amazed he didn't stay, like, because he was in Terminator and Aliens. They're pretty big action movies at the time. But he didn't become like a Sylvester Stallone type or anything, which is interesting. I think he's a really good actor. He does those roles really well, and he also doesn't look like he doesn't look like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. He doesn't look like this crazy Adonis. He's like more of an everyman.
Impossible.
So I'm kind of surprised he didn't get more parts, I guess. But anyway, he's a good actor. I think he has a podcast now, so you check him out. He's smart too. He got paid for Alien 3 for not being in it, because he was supposed to be in it, and then got a different director who decided to kill off his character off screen, and he was like, "Well, fuck you." But they needed to use his likeness for the beginning shots to like show, on the computer screen, like they were part of the opening credits was showing the characters that died from the previous film and like how they died, and they're talking about how they died. And he's like, "Well, if you want to use my likeness, you got to pay me." And they asked him how much he wants, and he's like, "The salary I would have been paid for the movie, basically." So he got paid as much for Alien 3 to show an image of his likeness on the computer screen as he got paid for Aliens. So good on him. Way to stand your ground against, you know, getting screwed and not being. He was supposed to be in the movie, and they cut him out. So, you know, let's just go ahead and do that. Da-da-da. I hate spiders. Spiders and giant spiders in games are always freaky to me. Something about spiders, like the way that they move, is very unnerving to me. Like the 8-legged crawl thing that they do is just like really creepy and gross. So like, spiders freak me out in real life, but in games, whenever there's like a giant spider enemy, I'm always like, ugh. So much so that in my main favorite D&D character I ever played, part of his thing was he was a barbarian, but if he saw a spider, he would automatically rage if he still could for the day, because they grossed him out and he was afraid of them. So he would, in order to face his fear, he would fly into his rage and attempt to fight it. So, fun lore. It's actually where the name of the channel comes from. Creator OP was what a lot of my friends I played with said. It was a 4th edition character, which was the only edition where Barbarian was cool and good, or was good. He's always cool, but so I was playing it, and my character did an insane amount of damage, and he was very difficult to kill. No armor, everything hit him, but I prioritized him doing a ton of damage and him being able to like stand back up if he got dropped to 0. So basically, he's just incredibly tanky and hard to kill, but then also he dished a ton of damage, and there was quite a few times where like a monster would have the entire party down, and then everybody would be like, "Oh, we're fucked," and then my buddy Ryan would be like, "Nah, we got Krator's OP, we got this," and I would end up soloing whatever the monster was. No, and yeah, it was really he was such a fun character. I didn't build him specifically to be OP. I built him like on a theme, but he just ended up being really, really powerful, which to me are the best ways that an OP character comes along is the like organically like that. Just like, hey man, I just like he definitely could have been more powerful because I didn't pick the best. Like I was a human, which there's other races that are much more powerful for barbarian in that edition. Do I want to keep these? I do kind of want to keep those. Let's get the book out of my way, though. You found the book.
Deliver us from evil.
So that gives us 5 stats. So let's go dexterity again, because we're gonna build that up. Because again, by level 49, we need 95 dex and 80 strength. And by level 40, actually, we'll need 105 strength by 45. So we'll get to the 95 dex first, and then we'll go for the strength. Even though we probably should do it in the other order, that's just the way I'm going to do it. Ooh, a rare ring. Oh, this could be nice. It's like rain. Okay. I think we're going to at least get through Mephisto. I thought I was going to start falling into my narcolepsy pattern pretty hard there for a second, but seems like I'm okay for now. So sometimes it only happens a couple of times, and other times it'll happen like once it happens once. Sometimes it'll go for like gets pretty bad. So also having this like really cold drink probably helped wake me up a little bit. There's a few different things I need to try and mitigate it. Like if I'm in a business meeting, I'll get up and move around. So I always let all my business partners know, hey, if I get up and move around, that's just I'm thinking. That's kind of what I tell them. And that's partially true, but it's also I'm trying to be present and not off, because I'm not. It's not like I'm not paying attention. It's just that, All right, we're level 30. All right, we'll see if we can do the council also on player's 8. It's gonna be a bit tough. The council members are tough. I think one of them is immune to fire. I think at least one of them is immune to fire, which could be a problem. I know in hell at least one of them's immune to fire. I know actually half of them are immune to fire and half of them are immune to lightning, and then at least one of them's immune to cold as well. On hell mode, on hell difficulty, the council's they're tough. They're one of the harder fights in the game. Bang, 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 bang. Split mail, that's berserkers. Not what we're trying to do, but that's alright. Boom. My merc, pretty much guaranteed to happen against the council. The Hydras, for some reason, do extreme damage to summons and mercenaries. Not exactly sure why, but they do. So, yeah, if you have a mercenary, they're going to die against the council. It's just going to happen. Very rarely you'll be able to keep them alive.
Shall shine anew with the light.
Okay. Get that out of here. Whack. We're going to have to repair my telestaff here as well. So let's go back to town. Close back in there. And resurrect Elena. I think this is the first time that she's died. Which is good on her. And Arrow usually will kill your mercenary. And Duriel usually will too. So the fact that she's still, like, this is, I think, the first time she's died is pretty impressive. All things considered. We're not quite level 35, so we can't give her a cure helm. Which normally you give cure. We could give her bulwark, but she already had bulwark would be great because it'd be additional physical damage reduced to stack on top of her rock fleece, so she'd be really, really tanky. So I'm probably gonna give her a bulwark, which is Shale, Io, and then I think Thol. No, Thol is the cold one. Shale, Io, Soul? Yeah, Shale, Io, Soul is a bunch of damage reduced, and lifesteal and a bunch of other stuff. Lifesteal, she only gets that's not true. Lifesteal works. If you're a ranged character, your crushing blow is only a percentage. You don't get the full amount. And I think open wounds is too. I think. Maybe open wounds is. I know crushing blow is. But anyway. We don't have any crushing blow for her anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that's like the one thing that you get an alternate setup. Put like a point in this, go like this. Like we could go a point here, which Smite always hits, and then a point down to here for fanaticism. And then stack crushing blow on like goblin toes and gloves or whatever, and use that to crushing blow bosses down pretty quick and then finish them off. That is definitely a thing we could do, but that's if you want to spend it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 additional points. Ideally you'd want Holy Shield as well if you're going to do this, but that would be an extra 2 points, and that wouldn't be very good because Holy Shield would only be at level 1. So kind of depends on what you want to do. If in harder difficulties, we may need to move in that direction, so we'll see. Or we may need to switch mercenaries. But I'm really liking having Vasquez here with us, because it fits the theme, and it's a theme build. It is also semi-real build, as in people. I did not by any means come up with this. But, yeah. Ooh, 2 gems out of there, huh? That's pretty good. Really choking. Alright. Get that Grand Charm. Check my messages real quick. I am incessantly checking my messages in case I get... Although it's unlikely I would get an email from HR at this point. I'm pretty sure they would just call me. But oh, I didn't repair my staff. That was the whole point of me going back to town. If we randomly find an ort rune, I'll just do it with that. Because if you put an ort rune and a chipped in the cube with your staff and transmute, you'll repair the charges. It's a special recipe. I don't know why it's specifically ort rune, but it is. It's kind of an interesting little power it has. Dolls are starting to hurt more. I think these are higher level dolls, which makes sense. They're also not they're not the little red guys. If you'll notice monsters that are like the same type of monster but have a different name or sometimes like a different color, like Fallen and stuff, they have different stats and different levels. And the higher level ones can sometimes be considerably different. Anyway. Definitely more damage. Alright, so here we're at level 2. We're going to look for the waypoint if we can find it. Ow. Oh god, that hurt. Speaking of dolls. Okay, let's get out of here. Ow again. As long as they're not one-shotting with their explosions and they're dropping health potions, I'm okay with it. Bang. Let's grab these bolts here. Maybe 5 more. Ow. Alright, so that's not... actually, let's just go ahead and repair while we're here.
Impossible.
There's Natalia, by the way. She's the main assassin character that you meet. Kind of a prequel to what the expansion was going to bring. Alright, so we're going to redrop our portal and then we're going to go find the waypoint. Hopefully it's just on the other side of this wall. That would be really awesome. Oh man, we're good. Alright. That was one of those, I played this game too much. I was playing Left 4 Dead 2 with my buddy the other day, and that happened several times in that game where he's like, man, he said, there's going to be a tank right over here. And we literally walk around the corner and there's a tank. He's played Left 4 Dead 2 too much, and Left 4 Dead 1. I have played this game too much, but that's okay, because I love it. I was going to say, where are the council members? Okay. They're all on this side, that's interesting. Oh, there goes Alexa. Okay, this works. Flame one.
The Lord of Hatred shall darken the world no longer.
Alright, well Mephisto was down, that wasn't too bad. Just a little bit of kiting. I didn't want to face tank him because he does do quite a bit of elemental damage. And the resistances aren't bad. The cold probably wouldn't have hurt us, but his lightning, his sparks would, his charge bolts, those can hurt, so. And we did get a really good map again, so we could farm him. We might do that. So let's go ahead and go through the portal for now. And here's where we're going to end for today. Let's go ahead and identify our stuff and resurrect Elexa. Let's see what we got. So we got a Soul Flay. This is a cool sword. It's unfortunately like a lot of the low-level uniques and just kind of a lot of the uniques in the game. Definitely outclassed by rune words, but you know, if you're doing a no rune word playthrough, this is a pretty cool sword. Increased attack speed, enhanced damage, for which 80%, 76% is not bad for normal. Dual leech, it's not gonna be a ton, but a couple points every swing. But all resist 5. There you go. Nothing wrong with it. I'll tell you that the helmet, chance to cast Frost Nova when struck is great. Poison that's reduced is good. Mana per kill on the throwing dagger. And we'll go ahead and get rid of this stuff. Plus 33 to life. Pretty good. Let's see. Anyway, so we're going to stop here. I'll go ahead and upload part 1 and part 2 here to YouTube. And I haven't uploaded the last XCOM stream yet. I'm going to upload it together with the next XCOM stream whenever that happens, so just hang tight for that. There's a reason I'm doing that. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, at least this will be going up on YouTube, just YouTube Creator OP Gaming. And if you want to join the Discord, always just let me know in the chat, send me a message and I'd be happy to send you the Discord link, and you can get added to the Discord. I like to post when I'm going live on there. I also like to post polls and stuff like, hey, like what game do you want to see next, or what build do we want to do next, or things like that. So let me know if you'd like to join the Discord. We got a few people on there. It's pretty fun. And thanks for watching and for supporting me through what's been a bit of a rough last few months, but I'm pretty sure this new job's going to turn. It's going to. Well, I know. I'm not just sure. I know it's going to turn things around. Things are going to be really awesome moving forward, and means I'm going to get a double monitor and stuff so make the stream better. So it's all going to be gravy. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.